on other news, I've given up smoking. Boom. I think 13 hours on a plane kind of helps give up smoking. So yeah, I'm like 4 days smoke free now. G'day team, it's your old mate the Kiwi Badger, coming at you from Palmerston North. Well, I'm back from the States trip, guys, and it was pretty bloody fun. Big trip. Yeah, feeling a little bit tired, but so glad to be home. It ain't funny. Met some absolutely amazing people whilst over there. Very, very friendly and accommodating. Gotta say, I got back, today's Monday, I got back on Friday. It was a really, really good trip. Flew from Palmerston North to Auckland Airport, Auckland to Houston. Spent about 4 days in Houston doing various things. And then Houston to Louisville for the competition itself. Spent like 5 days there and flew home. Our flight from Louisville to Houston was delayed, which meant when we got to Houston we had to sprint from our domestic flight to our international flight, which also meant that there wasn't enough time for the airlines to get our bags from one plane to the next. Oh, I got the hiccups. So that meant we actually got home before our luggage did, but it showed up on, geez, I think it was Sunday. Yeah, so it showed up 2 days later, delivered to my house. So that wasn't so bad. Highlight of the trip for me was definitely the people. The people in Louisville and Houston. Amazingly accommodating, friendly people, except for TSA. The TSA, you guys need to really put a smile on your dial. I know you've got a job to do, but fuck me. Could you look any more miserable whilst doing it? I don't think you could. You guys seriously need to cheer up, because you don't give your country a very good you don't make a very good impression for visitors. You know, you are the first faces we see entering your country. You look very unhappy. Went to a restaurant called Rudy's. That was kind of a neat experience. It was a first for me. Basically, you show up there and you pick the type of meat you want and how much of it you want. You buy it by weight. They then stick that on a piece of paper, not on a plate. They stick it on a piece of paper and stick it inside a tray, and you eat it with your hands. I tell you, that's an awesome concept. If you're a meat lover, showing up to a restaurant where your meat gets served in a tray and you eat it with your hands, thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, you guys in the States, as far as your food is concerned, your dollar buys a lot of food, like a lot of food. I consider myself a bit of an eater, but you guys, your portion sizes are ginormous. I was pretty blown away by how big your meals are. Even down to your coffee. Like a small coffee here in New Zealand is about that big. I can't go that way. America, your small coffee is the same size as our large. I like my coffee, but I don't like it that much. Some other noticeable things were the level of water inside your toilet bowls. Like, half of your toilet is filled with water. I couldn't get over it. And your light switches are upside down as well. I'd like to give a shout out to Rooksa. Rooksa, he's an American motovlogger I met very briefly whilst at a shop or a store buying some motorcycle gear like I spoke about before I left. Rooksa, nice to meet you, mate, very briefly, but you've been watching your videos, and keep up the good work, mate. Yeah. We went and saw NASA, which was pretty awesome. We caught up with a Kiwi who is actually an engineer at NASA, and one of his jobs is to resupply the International Space Station. So he was able to give us a bit of an insight as to NASA and its workings and things like that. But yeah, that was a really, really interesting visit to NASA. Just seeing the scale of things there is, in the US generally speaking, the scale of things is just ridiculous. It's, yeah, a whole other world compared to little old New Zealand. Houston, I think, is America's 4th or 5th largest city, and its population is the same as my whole country, which is just unreal. So we went and saw NASA. That was pretty bloody cool. We also went to the Museum of Natural History, the zoo, the San Jacinto Monument, and the USS Texas, which is a decommissioned World War I and II battleship. And that was, yeah, that was pretty awe-inspiring, really. It was a really nice old ship, just laden in history. I've got a whole heap, like I must have about 1,000 photos, and if you guys want to, just say yes or no in the comment. If you do, I will put together a bit of a slideshow of all the different stuff that I saw that was different to New Zealand and all of the places we went. So Houston, that was pretty cool. We flew from there to Louisville, where the kids partook in their robotics competition. And I'd just, before I go any further, like to thank all of those out there that helped get those kids there, whether it was donating to the Give a Little page or whether it was coming along on the Gentle Annie ride. Thank you very much. The Manchester Street School, which was the other team, not my son's team, the other team, they came about, I think they came 6th. I'll quantify that in a minute. My son's team came about 54th. To give you some idea of the scale of things, there was probably about 5,000 teams over 2 age ranges, being elementary school and middle school. Within each of those age ranges, there are different classifications that each team could be in. They can be in one of 4, which is technology, science, math, or engineering. My son was in engineering, and I think the other guys were in science. But yeah, they did extremely well. My son's team was actually going over there to compete for an Excellence Award, which basically had nothing to do with driving a robot. It was a project that they had put together involving a robot which used a moisture sensor to determine robotic watering of pasture or crop. I didn't manage to get to the Jim Beam distillery. I did, however, manage to have Kentucky Fried Chicken in Kentucky. But I've got my new motorcycle shoes on that I bought in the States. They look kind of like an ankle-high basketball shoe. The brand is Built, and they cost me $55 US. plus tax. Oh, that's about, I don't know, $62 or something. But here the same shoes are like well over 200 bucks. So even once you throw the exchange rate and tax into the equation, I paid about half price. I bought quite a bit of gear. Bought jacket, jeans. I was going to buy a hoodie, but they didn't have any that fit. I bought the boots, bought some gloves. I bought some replacement speakers for the old Euclair HBC 100 plus. That's my intercom. Turns out that the ones that I got sold aren't compatible, so I'm a little bit pissed off about that. But you know, what do? They cost me 30 bucks. If I was to send them back for a refund, because they're not the right ones, it would probably cost me that in shipping alone. So I may as well just hold on to them.